Very interesting guy. Okay, so I'd like to take a moment to remind all the miners here. Our general sponsor, UMiners, offers a diverse range of mining equipment for sale, ensuring that you have access to the latest and most efficient hardware in the market, ready to power your mining operations. Find them at booth A1. Next, again, we also appreciate you posting your impressions about the event on social media and all your social networks. Please make sure to share your emotions, AI generated or not, using the official hashtag blockchainlife2024. And we will repost them on the official Instagram and Twitter accounts. And we have a very serious panel coming up. Wow. The next panel will examine how the portfolios and opinions of crypto influencers have a tangible effect on market trends, investment flows, and project popularity. What is the relationship between social influence, like you all doing Blockchain Life 2024, and investment strategy in the crypto space? Let's find out. And on that note, I invite onto the stage co-founder and CEO of OG Media, founder and host of Crypto OGs, Andres Meneses. You can applaud every name. It's okay. Go ahead. Applaud. Cool. Crypto influencer, Crypto Kid. I like that guy. Crypto founder of the Dubai Blockchain Center, founder of Bonus Market, Matthias Mende. Clap. Good. Crypto educator and entrepreneur, Da Vinci Jeremy. These are really cool people. Entrepreneur and musician now. Wow, Carl Runefeld. And last but hardly not least, wow, Chris MM Crypto. And I guess I'm moderating this, so Gordon Einstein. Nice to meet you. Bump, bump, bump. Cool. I got an interesting question, because I don't know. What's a crypto influencer's job?
We have a special mission, is to take the next billion users from Web 2 to Web 3. I think that's what we do.
I like that. By the way, how are you, Mr. Crypto Kid? It's been a long time.
Good, it's been a long time. How are you, Gordon?
Good, thank you.
For me, being a crypto influencer is to spread the message, right? Because we all believe in this one thing so much that we need everyone to know about it. So me personally, I like to make content on cryptocurrency to educate people and bring especially the youth into crypto.
I personally love it because the space is so vast and there's so much to learn. And whatever we learn, and we can filter it as positive or good or useful to teach it directly to the people. So I'm in love with the technology and with the magic of blockchain and what it can do, not just the token stuff.
And I think you just had a birthday.
Right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Da Vinci.
Well, I started my YouTube channel because I realized that our financial system was a scam, and I wanted to teach people about it and how to protect their wealth. And when Bitcoin came along, I thought, bam, that's the answer, right? It's gonna solve a lot of problems for the future when we have hard money, money that can't be printed out of nothing, money that you actually have to work for, not the government gets to print a bunch and give it to their friends, right? This is the way we should go, and I wanted to teach people that.
Yeah, so before I learned about Bitcoin, I was already researching the banking system, and I realized how evil that system is and how flawed it is. So when I heard about Bitcoin, I felt like I cannot keep it for myself. I need to tell as many people as possible. Of course, I was working in a supermarket, so I told all my colleagues, but I felt like it was not enough. Like I wanted to tell everyone. So I started the YouTube channel and I started talking about it and grew an audience very fast. And yeah, since 6, maybe 7 years now, I think I've been telling people to buy Bitcoin, and so far so good. So I will keep doing that for the foreseeable future. I love it.
Now, hold on. 3 sentences about your music career, because I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, no one knows about that.
Well, now they do.
Now they do.
But it is, what do you do?
So basically, my first passion when I was a kid was actually music. So before Bitcoin, before money, before business, I loved to sing and make music. So, now I created the freedom for myself where I can do that without any pressure. I just do it for fun. So yeah, for fun, I'm writing a lot of songs and people will hear them soon.
Congratulations, please.
My story is actually very similar to Carl's story, just not that I was working in a supermarket, but as a taxi driver. But I also studied economics, so similar to him, I was researching the financial system a little bit and understood that this is not the answer, this is not what will prevail. Then I found Bitcoin and I thought, oh, that might be the answer. So I also like to express myself, I like to talk, so I thought maybe make a YouTube channel, educate people about it. And I realized pretty quickly that Bitcoin will stay, Bitcoin will get bigger. It's like a kraken taking over the whole world. And by incentivizing or incentivizing people to buy Bitcoin or educating people about Bitcoin, I felt like I am part of the solution to the problem I researched in the first place. So I think by pushing Bitcoin, bringing people into the space, I'm part of this huge project which is not going to stop ever. And that's Bitcoin.
Fantastic. You actually made a great lead into the next question. So Bitcoin is often compared to gold as a store of value. Do you, and we'll kind of go down the line here, do you think Bitcoin will continue to evolve in this direction, or do you see a different long-term role for it in the financial system? Is it a gold replacement? Is it a store of value, or is it something else?
Well, we see the big guys now investing everything into Bitcoin. I started in Bitcoin in 2016, from Colombia, from a third world country. We use Bitcoin as a way to do a lot of OTC deals, the commercial side in Colombia with US. Now, if you ask me, probably right now is to replace the whole financial system. Possibly no at the moment, but that's why we have other technologies. You have Ethereum, Solana, we have more tokens. I will say the people that are holding Bitcoin for a long time, like Da Vinci and all the guys, they're making the right move, including myself, because I cannot see myself sending Bitcoin to pay something to any merchant right now. I use my USDT and I keep my Bitcoin in my pocket. That's
Actually,
it.
let me stay on that for a second. So the original conception, of course, was digital, peer-to-peer digital cash. Yeah. But when you have an appreciating asset, perhaps an ultimately appreciating asset, does it make sense to use it as cash?
Yes, but if you use it as a cash, it just deny the whole purpose, Like, you can use P2P. I did it actually, I lost a lot of Bitcoin in 2017 and 18. I was sending Bitcoin to my friends to teach them about how it works. But now, no way, I'm not sending it to anyone. I just keep it in my wallet, and I'm just trying to make more business of other entities to capitalize in non-Bitcoin.
Crypto kid.
For me, when
I'm not sure you're a kid anymore.
Still a kid.
Teenager.
17. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
You're definitely a kid compared to
Are
me.
you allowed to be on the stage at 17?
Until
so
like 8
Bitcoin
PM.
versus gold.
Okay, we're wasting valuable Bitcoin time.
Bitcoin
Crypto
versus
kid,
gold.
tell us about Bitcoin.
I think Uncle Da Vinci's got a better answer for it, but in my perspective, I think Bitcoin is exponential gold. So they're both stores of values. One of them has existed for thousands of years, and one of them is just 16 years old. So I'm only 1 year older than Bitcoin. But I think that in this era of digital revolution where everything is going to be pushed to the internet, I think Bitcoin will make so much sense. And this is a factor that not many people think about. When AI generates its own intelligence, its own consciousness, no one is going to put a bank account to, or give a bank account to a robot or AI. Like, they will have to be a part of our society somehow. Not that I'm preaching for that, but eventually, unfortunately, that is what's going to happen. So when robots are integrated in our society, they will have some sort of financial service they use. They will transact, they will buy things, they will charge for their services. And I think that will be Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will be their answer when they naturally try and find a way. I think Bitcoin will be the way that they transact. But apart from this, I mean, Bitcoin has underlying technology. So not only is it's unconfiscatable, which is a term that Tone Vays developed, but you can take millions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin with you from border to border, and it's just in your head. So with either 12 or 24 seed phrases, then, or the words that consist of a seed phrase, you can bring billions of dollars of net worth with you without being taxed, without being stopped or anything else. So in that sense, for the freedom of movement of money and for the freedom of ownership, I think Bitcoin is important. And who knows, maybe in 30 years, people will develop products with Bitcoin that we would have never thought would exist today. Just like how we developed the iPhone with electricity. So yeah, I think Bitcoin is better than gold.
Matthias.
Well, Bitcoin's comparison to digital gold.
Is that an outdated sort of analogy? Is it the core truth of it and what it will always be? What do you see as the future?
Well, I feel it's a fair comparison because it is digital and it's like gold, but it's very scarce, and the scarcity is what makes it special. But for me personally, I think Bitcoin, it's really the future of money and the next evolutionary step of money. But this will probably then happen when it becomes like a reserve currency of some countries or maybe for the world. I even believe that Bitcoin is the transit money for all the rich institutions and people who were smart enough to secure some, especially when the dollar expires, since Da Vinci says it's a scam too. I mean, it can happen. They say don't bet against the dollar, but in these times we're living in, it's almost like science fiction, so who says it's not impossible? So I feel it's very healthy to have some Bitcoin just as a safety.
So for Da Vinci, I'm going to frame it a little differently for you, because you were famously early in noticing, dare I say, Bitcoin and also advocating it. That's sort of what makes you fantastic. You didn't just tell people, you told people early and were quite verbal about it. Now, a lot of time has passed and you've been right. So Bitcoin hasn't changed, but maybe the world has changed. Is your take on it still what it was?
Well, believe it or not, if you watch all my channel, I started with gold and silver as money. And I would say only gold and silver is money and nothing else, constantly. And until Bitcoin came along, then it changed. Because gold and silver, you can transfer it locally between people, but you can't transfer it worldwide. I have employees all over the world, and I pay them in Bitcoin. And so this is all possible through cryptocurrencies. And so this is why Bitcoin is going to be money. It just takes people time to understand that. And it's much better money because if you try to transfer gold to somebody around the world, it's going to be stopped, or the government is stolen, or the government is going to prevent you from transferring it. That's not possible with Bitcoin.
But let me stay with you one more second. I agree with everything you said, but I'm also pointing out that some time has passed since your original Cassandra-like call to get out of the dollar and go to either hard metals or Bitcoin. So you're clearly right, but time has passed. So has your view adjusted at all, or is it just straight down?
Well, that's what I explained. I did adjust to say that, from gold.
Back in the day, yes.
From gold to Bitcoin.
Sure.
So I'm completely, I'm not completely out of gold and silver, of course. I still believe in gold and silver. People will hold it for the long term, and it will probably still be used as wealth preservation. But the better asset to store your wealth in is obviously Bitcoin.
Great. Carl, love to hear your thoughts.
So I think Bitcoin is for sure better than gold, and I think we all know that it's more divisible, it's easier to transport, all of these things. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but I know that from the mainstream, like the old gray-haired guys from the traditional financial markets, they will say that gold has been around for thousands of years, and that's why it's more trustworthy and it's more a better form of money than Bitcoin. And first of all, yes, gold has been the best form of money for thousands of years. Before the internet, Bitcoin is the best form of money in a world where it's based on internet. We live in a digital world, so we need a digital form of money now. Gold cannot really play that part anymore. And this might be a bad example, but something else we've used for thousands of years is swords, for example, in war. But today there are more efficient ways to use, to do war. They have guns, right? It's more efficient. Bad example, I get it. But same with Bitcoin and gold. Gold was very good and efficient for many, many years, for thousands of years. But today we have a better alternative, more efficient. Maybe a better example, Da Vinci, as you're laughing so much, is ships. They were using wooden ships for traveling the world and transporting goods and things. Today we're using big steel ships because it's way easier to navigate the world, and you don't have to sail and use the wind. So just because something was used for thousands of years doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for today's modern world. And I believe Bitcoin is the best form of money that exists today. Gold is number 2, and then fiat is like number 30 million thousand somewhere. So yeah, Bitcoin, gold.
Chris,
I'm sorry,
hear
I'm
your
laughing
thoughts.
because I realize I'm wearing Ripple socks.
Wow,
That is funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Off topic, but
Actually, there's a wide variety of socks on the stage in different political positions. Chris.
Yeah, I want to agree, especially with what Da Vinci and Carl were saying. But I think that the US dollar or the euro, they are not even in the list. Like, it's not even money, it's basically currency, as it's an ultimately depreciating value. Whereas you said Bitcoin is an ultimately appreciating value, the US dollar is like constantly, since it was broken away from the gold standard, depreciating in value. So as the dollar is going lower and lower, converging against zero, Bitcoin against the US dollar is converging against infinity. That's just a mathematical principle we have to follow, not purchasing power-wise, but nominally. And to answer your question, yes, I think Bitcoin is like gold, a form of money, but it is better than gold. Because of the divisibility, of course, transportability, but I think what's very important going to be in the future, especially in countries like Venezuela, other countries where you do not want to trust the government too much, maybe now this changed in some countries, but the non-confiscatability is a very, very important factor of Bitcoin. If you have Bitcoin, whether it's $1, $1 million, $1 billion, at least you don't tell anyone about that, you can keep the seed phrase in your mind and no one can confiscate it. No one can break your brain out of the head and try to read the seed phrase inside the brain, right? It's not confiscatable. That is a very, very important factor. And then another factor you mentioned, that you are disincentivized to spend Bitcoin because it's an ultimately appreciating value, store of value. It's true to some degree, but Bitcoin will not always appreciate. I think Bitcoin is still undervalued compared to where it should be. It is better than gold, so it should be above $500,000 for sure. I personally think because
When? I'm waiting.
I think we are
When?
coming to that later, but I would say we have to wait at least another decade for that, for Bitcoin to reach the millions of dollars. But I think $500,000 will happen in the next few years. I think we will maybe even see $100,000 this year. So I personally...
the audience should clap at 100,000 this year.
It is possible. I mean, I said it before, we just need to break 70,000 on a weekly candle, and once we are breaking the previous all-time high, Bitcoin is going very slowly, but in one moment it goes suddenly, and then we can go 50% in 2-3 weeks. It goes very quick. So I'm expecting it soon.
So from your mouth to Satoshi's ears.
Say again?
I said, from your mouth to God's ears. I'll say from your mouth to Satoshi's ears.
Well, Satoshi is with us anyways.
Okay, next
on the
question.
panel.
So how do you assess the current state of altcoin performance relative to Bitcoin and Ethereum? Are we entering a new phase of altcoin dominance?
We're just getting started. Look, if you think what happened 2 years ago, we were in the middle of the biggest scam in crypto sphere, and then we have Solana going all the way to $17, and let's say we're now at more than 150. I was about 3 weeks ago with the president of Solana Foundation, Aptos, and the president of BitGet, and we were talking exactly about this. When is going to be the next super cycle for altcoins? I think so we're just getting started. Obviously, Bitcoin's performance is decent now, but I believe the people's money, people is following where the money is going. And I've seen a lot of people just going for the new or the biggest altcoins. Sui as well doing a good example. We have seen him doing a lot of events around the city. So I think we're just getting started. I'm betting a lot in altcoins, but they have to be at least top 25 in the market cap for me.
I mean, is Bitcoin sort of like the conservative holding pattern, and then you play around with your excess?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So for me, I mean, the Bitcoin dominance is currently at 60%, and this is a pretty high number. And eventually, we're going to see a breakdown of the Bitcoin dominance from the huge rising wedge that we're forming on the weekly time frame. And once dominance starts dropping below, down into the 40, 30%, that is when we're going to see a huge transformation of wealth or a transfer of wealth from Bitcoin to altcoins. And we can see meme coins are going up a lot, and I think we'll discuss it later on the panel. But the reason for this is because if you look at the amount of savings per capita, it is at the lowest amount ever. And in 2021, during the Bitcoin bull market, the savings that people had were at an all-time high. Now that we're seeing money supply go up, now that we're seeing savings also go up simultaneously, I think people will shift from meme coins, which is seen as more as a gambling and an opportunity to turn very small money into a lot of money. I think that will funnel into altcoins very soon. But we have to break down from the rising wedge of the Bitcoin dominance, and I personally see that to be either Q1 of 2025 or very late in 2024.
I personally think that Bitcoin will never lose its dominance, especially with all those meme coins, which some people also consider as altcoins, but they are not. And the whole volume, those meme coins actually cannibalizing in the market because it's like daily 10,000 new opportunities to play lottery and win something. It actually makes the altcoins, it destroys the altcoins because the altcoins come from projects which actually have a purpose and value most of the time and fulfill a utility. But those meme coins, I don't know, they need their own category or
now, are you sort of generically combining altcoins and meme coins?
No, I feel they are two total different things. I think the meme coins, it's like the lowest category, but I understand that it's fun and can be a nice gamble, but I feel that Bitcoin will always have the highest dominance, and altcoins, I'm not sure. They not look very well for me.
Let me ask the group something. I'm going to change the question a little bit. I've had this debate recently. Do meme coins have utility? Is there just something we haven't thought of yet, that they're kind of showing something like the way forward that we haven't quite picked up on yet? Is there something maybe more there? Da Vinci or...
Yeah, well, some meme coins do have utility. So, for example, Shiba Inu now has its Shibarium network, right? That you can actually build on that network. Whilst Dogecoin does not. I mean, it's just a token that's expanding forever, and it just has a culture behind it.
And Elon.
So yes, there are some with utility and some with no utility. And what's the difference, and why are the no utility meme coins such sought after and purchased when there's no reason for dog with hat, right? If you go to the website, literally, it's just dog with hat, right?
It's funny.
And so, yeah, it might be funny, but why do you buy it, right?
Because it's funny.
But here's what I'm trying to get at. Is the meminess of it, I just made up that word, is that meminess somehow a newer form of utility that we haven't quite conceptualized yet, but there's something else there? Do you know what I mean?
You're buying it just to gamble and see if you could make more money. That's all it is.
That's it.
100%. I mean, most people who only make $10 a day, that's 50% of the world population. Right? They have no other way but to gamble. We don't recommend it, right? You don't tell people, oh, buy a lottery ticket and hope you win, but they do it anyways. And you can say that about meme coins, but they're going to do it anyways. So you have to let it go, right? It is what it is. People are going to do it because they hope this is their only chance, they feel, of getting out of the rat race. It's not really, but that's people who invest in it anyways.
So Carl, given sort of the Bitcoin and Ethereum as sort of the hard cryptos or tokens over here, and altcoins as alts, do you see alts sort of gaining more presence in the market, or how do you think things are going to play out?
Well, over time, yes, because Bitcoin can never be diluted, but the altcoin market can be, because you can always create another altcoin, right? So the altcoin market cap, the total market cap of altcoins will always expand. At least the
I'm sorry,
amount of
I'm gonna jump in.
altcoins.
It's always going to expand, or it's one size pie that's going to get sliced finer and finer as more altcoins
I mean,
come.
look, I think the Bitcoin dominance deserves to be high. I think 80% of all altcoins are either already abandoned by the project or just not useful. But there's always going to be those altcoins that are super innovative and perfect for society. It's very hard to find those projects. So like meme coins, for example, I'm not an expert on meme coins. I don't want to pretend to be like an authority on meme coins, but I think they're gonna definitely keep pump in this bull market now because it seems like people are bored, so they want to put their money somewhere. They put it in meme coins. There's no lockups, no VCs that invested that can dump the money. So I get the point of it, but I do believe that in the next bear market, just like NFTs went down like 99%, I think also meme coins will have similar price development because there's just too many meme coins. I'm sure there are thousands of meme coins created every day now. I think literally.
Every second.
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't have the data in front of me, but I'm pretty sure. Because like literally everyone is creating a meme coin. Like with just a computer and internet, you can create one. So that's cool because somehow I think it's nice because it's also freedom of money. Like anyone should be able to create their own money. It shouldn't be illegal because in the traditional world, it's only one authority that has the authority to do so, which is the central banks. If they do it, it's banking. If you do it, it's jail. So I think it's beautiful from that point of view, but as an investment, it's very risky. And I think meme coins right now, I feel like people are treating it more like a casino rather than proper investments, and maybe that's the point. So in that case, fine. But I'm personally staying away from that as much as I can.
Chris, so altcoin versus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the balance in the future.
Yeah, I think most people, at least those people who are following me on my channel, probably know my answer, but I want to go a little bit more into detail, even though I have not so much time, and tell you what my framework is for altcoins now for the next few months. But first of all, I would like to mention that the Bitcoin dominance of 60%, it's mind-blowing if you consider that now we have millions of altcoins, like hundreds of thousands of altcoins at least speaking. So this pie, which actually got smaller compared to Bitcoin, was furthermore diluted by 1,000-fold. When I started, there were just a few altcoins, like a few hundred altcoins, which you could take kind of serious. Now most of them are BS. And you have to understand, if you go into the altcoin space, almost 100% likelihood, not 100%, but almost 100% likelihood you are picking up BS. And BS is not going to grow in your hands over the long run. So this is something you have to understand. So overall, long term, my answer is Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. But short term, you can make money with Bitcoin. I was sitting here 6 months ago and I was saying Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. Now, 6 months later, I'm saying soon I will divert a little bit into altcoins, but just for the sake of making money in the short term. So once Bitcoin breaks the previous all-time high, purchasing power adjusted, which should not be 73,000, but somewhere around the numbers of 90, 95,000, that's when I'm going to diversify a little bit out into altcoins. I'm going to hold these altcoins for a few weeks and then sell them to get more Bitcoin. This is the only purpose for altcoins for me. There are very few very good projects in the altcoin space, but you can count them on a few hands maximum. And by going Bitcoin, especially going Bitcoin long term, you are definitely in the safe boat. And as I said 6 months ago, Bitcoin still has 100x potential if you're just willing to wait long enough. So you don't need an altcoin to make 100x. You just need some time and patience.
Okay, we have exactly 1 minute left. So what does the influencer do in 2025? What does a crypto influencer do in 2025?
Work harder than ever so they can capitalize in the bull market. That's it.
For me, it's just to spread as much Bitcoin adoption as possible. I mean, I think this bull market, the price of Bitcoin can reach $300,000, and the more people I educate about Bitcoin, the more successful everyone becomes.
For me, I built my own product. I just launched it, and it's all about it, to spread it to millions and perhaps 1 billion people's hands, have the world's most easy wallet where they can hold everything self-custodial and get free education, because every dApp can just build on top, and it's much more easier than anything else. And that's my
Eventually, you in 2025.
most heavy influence.
Provide more education as more people come in educate more people as they come into, because the price is rising, but hopefully get them to stay when the price is going down so that they will benefit in the next bull run.
Carl,
The question is what I will do in 25.
what's your 2025 crypto influencer mission? 10 seconds.
Well, I'm going to focus a lot of time on making music and race cars. And I will also keep educating people about Bitcoin.
Chris.
I will keep educating people about Bitcoin, but as Bitcoin gets bigger, less volatile, and we are getting closer and closer to the true value of Bitcoin, I will also include some other things into my content, which will maybe contain health and longevity,
Nice.
happiness, faith, and many things which can make people happier in this world where depression is really skyrocketing.
Fantastic. Let's give our panel a big round of applause. Thank you very much.